Say you are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, Roger, you live at the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage, smackdown. Hold the title, this is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
Because they are the best tag team in the world today! Woo!
George.
Wrestling with Savage.
I think George just tried his resume for Tony Khan. I don't know for George, huh?
With Savage! But of course.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, Roger, you live at the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage, smackdown. Hold the title, this is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
I'm trying to give these two W's. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling with Savage, and we are here live, and we have LaGreca heads, we have Busted Open, we have Jay, we have Gilch, and we also have a new Busted Open Savage chapter. You see the logo there on your screen. The chapter is official. You're looking at the chapter right here. You want to be a part of the Busted Open Savage chapter, you come on over to the Discord, introduce yourself. You can also join the Facebook Busted Open group. Say what's up to everybody. You can pick up your Dave LaGreca head, your Busted Open t-shirts, merchandise at podswag.com. Dave LaGreca has said, if he sees you with the Busted Open shirt, if he sees you with the Dave LaGreca head, he's gonna follow you. He also said he was gonna follow me because I have a Dave LaGreca head, and he's seen me with a Dave LaGreca head. So I'm waiting for that follow, Dave LaGreca. I think I'm someone you should follow. I think I'm someone that's worth following. I think my content is pure fucking gold, and you haven't even seen any of it yet because you don't even know what I have down the road coming along. I'm going to be doing a lot of things in 2023, and I promise you this, I'm someone you're going to want to follow in 2023, and by 2025, professional wrestling and my name will go hand in hand, and that's just the way it is. Gilch, did you enjoy Monday Night Raw tonight?
I did.
How about you, Jay? You're muted, Jay. I can't hear Jay. Jay's over here. He's talking to himself, but
I'm sorry, y'all. But I'm gonna stop you right there with your speech. I'm gonna say not should, must follow you because of all the things you've been doing the last few days, actually the last few weeks. So, Dave LaGreca, hope you got that message loud and clear from Savage right there.
Oh, Dave LaGreca's a busy guy, man. So I'm gonna give him some time. I don't mind. I'm going to still support him whether he follows me or not follows me. I feel like I'm going to earn his follow eventually. And when that day comes, I will appreciate it. But for now, we're going to get into some Raw talk. Busted Open today, though. They got into Crown Jewel. Actually, you know what? Why don't we get into Crown Jewel just a little bit? Just a little bit. We're going to go over the results of Crown Jewel. And we're going to talk about pretty much what happened in the main event. I'm gonna go to Jay first because I really want to know what you think of Logan Paul's debut, Crown Jewel debut. It's his third match ever as a professional wrestler. Absolutely fucking slated, in my opinion.
Okay.
Slated. What did you see?
Right. I saw something I thought I would never see in my entire life. I saw possibly a great freaking wrestling match that surpassed all my expectations. I was ready to come here and just take a big crap on this match tonight, but I can't even do that. I can't even do that, Savage, because this match was so amazing. I was so impressed by Logan Paul and the stuff that he did that I went back to this match to figure out where did he tear his ACL, MCL? I can't even, that's how tough this son of a bitch was. The moves that he did was impressive. That Superman punch from the top, the moonsault that he always does. What more can you say, man? I'm very impressed with this guy. He got the athleticism, the speed. He proved it out there, man. I really thought this was going to be a shitter, especially since it did crowd jewel in Saudi Arabia, no offense. But it turned out to be quite possibly one of the most amazing matches, not only that Logan Paul had, that Roman Reigns has had. And let's not forget about Roman Reigns' performance. It's in peril. It's on another level.
Roman Reigns, I thought Roman Reigns absolutely killed it with this guy, man. Like, his third match ever. Roman Reigns probably worked with him a little bit, but we know HBK worked with Logan Paul. Right now I got a nice picture on there. It's probably the best picture you're ever going to see of a professional wrestling match. It was just
beautiful shot.
Money shot. Like, the height that this kid got and the angle of the shot, Roman Reigns going in for that punch. It's just, it speaks volumes to the future of the WWE. Like, when I look at this picture, you see now who is the current champion, Roman Reigns, and right now he is the president of the business, and probably still the future, because his day's not done. He's going to be around for a while. He's that heavy hitter. And now you have Logan Paul here on the right, who is a new and rising superstar in the world of professional wrestling. His third match ever, to have this kind of iconic moment to bounce off of whenever he decides to come back, if he decides to come back. I hope he does decide to come back. I hope he caught the wrestling bug, and I hope that he wants to be a part of this company, because I think this is what he was meant to do, to be honest with you. Gilch, what did you see in this match? Did you catch up with Crown Jewel? Did you see everything?
Not everything, but I saw this match, and fucking kid's amazing, bro. I mean, amazing. This is, we're not saying, oh wow, this is an outsider who's pretty good at wrestling. No, this guy's a great fucking wrestler. I mean, everything from, this guy could, he can give you flippy dippy shit if you want it. He could sell. He looks strong coming across. Obviously, he could fucking fly. I thought that was a great touch to live stream the turnbuckle to the outside table.
That was a great spots he chose to do, they were just so perfect for the match. Everything fits so well. My only one gripe about the match was that Sami Zayn wasn't there. That's about it. Because you have Sami Zayn there, now it just gets a little oosier. You know what I mean? But other than that, Roman Reigns and Logan Paul, go for it, yeah.
I just wish I seen less of Roman moving his lips when he was calling spots. Just a little less.
I was trying not to pay too much attention. I was trying not to pay too much attention to stuff like that. But all in all, bottom line is this for me. They left me entertained. For the portion of their match that I saw, everything was entertaining. The methodical movements between Reigns and Logan. It's like, how did this kid learn to dance like this so quick? Because this isn't a small match. It's a huge match. It's a premium live event now, right? It's not pay-per-view anymore. Third match. And like Gilch pointed out, that spot with his cell phone, it was perfect. Perfect landing on Roman Reigns while doing perfect selfie camera work. I guess all those years of vlogging on YouTube really paid off, because the kid is an absolute pro. There's probably nobody better with a cell phone. I know Theory is going to be upset about this because he considers himself the selfie king, but we've never even seen Theory do something like this, to this measure of excellence. And that's what I call it. I thought Logan Paul's match against Roman Reigns was excellent.
Can we also talk about that that Logan Paul remarkable athleticism does not rub off of his brother because of those two horrible punches he threw in the ring? Can we talk about that?
You can talk about it. I mean, either way, their money matches. That's going to happen probably. That's what I'm calling for Mania. It's probably going to be the Usos versus Jake and Logan, and they are going to beat the Usos. If not at Mania, down the line, those kids are going to have gold around their waist. It's just no. But let's see if Nick can be as good as Logan, like you said. From what you saw, the answer right now is a no. But
this is horrible.
This was his first time ever in a ring, right? He probably didn't have any real training to throw wrestling punches.
But why do it again?
I don't know. Because that's his thing. He's a puncher. He knocks guys out. I mean, that's his whole fucking spiel. Oh, at least the punches in his boxing matches look pretty real. He tried to make it look real. Looked like he really cuffed it there, you know, to make it look better. But all in all, Crowd Jewel had a lot going on. There's a picture of Logan Paul when he's young, 12 years old. Apparently, he was a WWF fan. Picture of him with the Intercontinental Championship. So this isn't like a kid who just became a star and decided to, hey, fuck it, I'm going to try wrestling. This is a kid who grew up watching wrestling, was a fan of wrestling, and now he's living out, not living out, he lived out a lifelong dream of being in the main event, going against the champion, and not just any champion, going against the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, who's on a run right now that's like, exactly what he says. It's God mode in the modern era. We've never had a champion like this in the modern era. I was really thinking about it, Gilch. Who was the last champion that really had a run like Roman's having right now? When was the last time we saw someone have a legit 2-year fucking, you know, run with the title? More than 2 years. It's been a long goddamn time, man.
Did Cena have one long run? Not anything like this.
I don't even think he even had anything over a year.
CM Punk.
Punk, maybe. Punk, right?
434,
and then before Punk, it's got to be like Bret Hart in the 90s. Because I read earlier.
The Attitude Era, the belt changed hands basically every other fucking
Stone
week.
Cold never even had it longer than a fucking few months, 7 months, 6 months, whatever it is. They'd always pass it off to The Rock or, you know, Triple H, Kurt Angle, you know, all over the fucking Jericho. You know, that belt was going all over the place. So we haven't had a champion the caliber of what Roman Reigns is doing right now. I think people are really underestimating how powerful what he's doing right now as far as like the psyche of professional wrestling fans, past, present, and future. People are going to come into this and see that this guy had the belt for 1,000-something days. Who the fuck was this guy? He was the big dog. Now, the question is this. Do you, if you're Triple H, all right, I'm going to go to Gilch on this one. If you're Triple H right now, and you have the pencil, are you booking Roman to beat Hulk Hogan's record? Or is this shit over this year? 2023, for example. Not this year, next year, but it's close.
Good question.
It's a good question. I mean, I read something the other day that said internally they have an idea of who's going to beat Roman.
They always have to have a list of 3-4 guys ready to go to be the next guy.
But they don't expect that to be soon. So...
But no, I didn't ask you what they're thinking about. You have the pencil in your hand right now. It's your call. Do you book him to beat Hulk Hogan's record? Or do you cut him off at Mania? Or do you cut him off at SummerSlam? Whatever it is.
Yeah, I can't book him to beat Hulk Hogan's record.
So you don't. And how about you, Jay?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So that means with your booking, Roman Reigns is now your champion for minimum the next, 1,400 days. That's 3 or 4 years.
I think it's maybe 250, 300 days left, something like that.
No, so Hogan has over 2,000 days, no?
It'll be less than a year, I think. I think Hogan has over 1,200 or 1,300 days.
We're going to check that later. We'll fact check it. But let's get into the crown jewel. You have Bobby Lashley going against Brock Lesnar. Now, I didn't actually watch the full match, but I did watch highlights. But I heard a lot about the match, and I read a lot about the match. A lot of people were telling me that it did not live up to what they were expecting this match to be. But I believe this was the first match on the card, Jay?
Yes, it was.
So they just got this one out the way, got these guys out the building, go home, chill out.
No, I think it was just trying to get people amped, match.
I don't
think it was because of that.
I think they didn't want to take away any of the momentum from the main event. So they probably told these guys, go out there and just give them a little taste. Because we know this is not going to end. They're going to keep going with this for a while. Probably all the way up till Mania. I wouldn't be surprised if we see just... grudge matches again and again all the way up till Mania. And then the Mania one ends with a fight pit or some crazy shit between these two.
You love the fight pit.
Well, it's not that I love the fight pit. The people love the fight pit. The people have spoken of Savage City. The nation and Savage City. All the residents of Savage City have said to me that they want that fight pit match between two monsters like this. It will make sense. It will look good. It will be entertainment if they do it right. And maybe they get a special guy in there like Conor McGregor to referee it. WrestleMania, we get big people. He's not fighting anybody. You know they've been in communication. You never know what's around the corner. That's what I love about WWE. That's what I've always loved about WWE. You never know at any point during the year who's going to fucking just randomly show up and be part of a storyline. They've always had that. Anyway, Brock Lesnar defeats Bobby Lashley. Gilch, how do we feel about this? I heard it was an iffy finish. Technically, he shouldn't have been pinned or some nonsense. It was like a pin roll-up or some bullshit.
I watched highlights. I didn't watch the whole match.
Well, what do you think about him losing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think this is over.
No.
I think they're hyping this thing up for a bit. So, kind of inconsequential to me.
How about you, Jay? How would you have booked it if you had the pencil like this? I would have booked it, me personally, just before you give your answer. I would have booked it like DQ, double DQ. Nobody wins. They both go out looking, like psychos. What would you do?
I would have booked it. Lashley going over. I don't like how it just finished just like everybody else did it, just for the fact that his shoulders never hit the mat. And that's why it was a big botch, and everybody's been complaining on Twitter and all over the place.
I've seen a lot of people complain.
So I saw it back, and I agree too. I think the finish just the way it was, but I would have put Lashley. Why not put Lashley? Why does Brock need the win? Just, like you say, it's going to just continue. So
I feel like, you know what? I feel like they should have took that fucked up, little bit of a botch and ran with it. Like, you could have came out today with the whole, commentary saying, oh, last night we noticed this, and the referee made a mistake. You could have played that up a little bit, and it just,
They could have did a lot of different things. How do we feel about Damage Control now being tag team champions again? I thought this was, are you just trying to add like a number to their thing saying they're 2-time tag team champions now? Was that all that this was for? What was the real point of putting the belt on Asuka? I guess they put the belts on Asuka and Alexa just because fuck it, they're superstars. And just give them a little rub and you're going to give it right back to them at Crown Jewel. Because that's how we set up a match at Crown Jewel. So this whole thing was probably just to set up and fill time on a card slot. What do you have to say about all this stuff?
I think it's all, this is all nonsense, right, guys?
It's all part of bigger storylines that they're doing with Survivorseries and War Games and trying to get Nikki Ash involved with Damage Control. And then you're going to get Candice LeRae with, Bianca and friends.
I was getting a lot of heat, in chats and stuff when the pay-per-view, because I was just saying how this tag team wasn't being respected. These belts are not being respected. They're being, changed every so-called now and then. And if you're hyping the match for War Games, I get it. I'm all down for it. But why do you have to keep switching the belt? What was the point of having them win
3
Monday
changes, right?
And then have him win Saturday? I think it was 2 changes, right?
Well, no,
Monday,
but remember when
Saturday.
Raquel and Aaliyah had it too? That was just like a couple of months ago.
That was a while ago.
That was like 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago. It wasn't that long
but
ago.
look at this change. In 1 week, we had 2 changes already.
Yeah,
and it's the
true.
same team, and that's what I was telling people. Hey, it's just the same tag team. I want to see somebody new. I want to see somebody come up. Why not bring Toxic Attraction, all these new women up? At least get some different challengers if you're going to keep it, but don't switch it like this. This is just bad.
I thought it was silly booking. All right, Gilch, what do you think about the news that actually Drew McIntyre beat Karrion Kross, climbed out of the steel cage, picked up a big win, right? That's a big statement win, putting down Karrion Kross. Is that Karrion's first loss in this? Is his character now? He hasn't taken a loss before yet.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't think Drew needed it.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, I agree.
But I actually thought Karrion needed it to continue the savage momentum that he's been on. So I really wasn't thrilled with the booking of that result.
I would have definitely let Karrion get the win on this and just make him look like, he picks up the win because he's a psycho and he has a girl that helps him cheat and win and do whatever it takes. There's plenty of reasons to make Drew lose, and he still looks like a monster because, the odds are against him and all that good stuff.
Right.
So, I don't get the booking. I mean, it's not like we're going to make Drew win the Royal Rumble. It's not like he's going to fight fucking Roman at WrestleMania. So what's the point of putting down your upcoming superstar who's yet to be put over? I don't get it.
100%. I don't even care if you wanted it, like you said, you wanted him to win dirty. Get Scarlet involved, that's fine.
The only reason this happened is so that they can have another match.
Yeah, I guess.
Because now it's 1-1, right? So that's why it happened. In that regards, I guess. But still, you make the guy look weak. You're better off just like, screwing over Drew for a while, and then he gets this big comeback. Maybe he can win at Mania. That would make more sense. Karrion kicks his ass all the way till Mania, and then Drew gets his revenge at WrestleMania in a big match or something like that. Whatever. How about Judgment Day? Strong over OC, right? That match I saw wasn't anything more than what I expected it to be, because we've seen it on Raw how many weeks now, So I pretty much knew what I was going to get when I saw this match. Finn Balor looked crisp. Damian Priest looked good. How about you, Jay? What did you see?
It's the same typical match I would see on Monday Night Raw.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it wasn't like something that was like built up well, because we got so many little samples of it. So yeah, Judgment Day picks up the win. We'll move on to a more interesting match. And on Busted Open today, they were giving this match a lot of praise for actually a classic big man match. And I did watch the match, and I gotta say, Omos was much more impressive tonight than I've ever seen him before. Mostly because he was really getting into his character. He was screaming at Braun, barking at him, throwing him around the ring, basically beating Braun's ass for the majority of the match, and looking like a fucking attraction, as Bully Ray would call it. A legitimate giant attraction. And, that's another thing. And this is another one of those matches where if you don't go with the double DQ on Brock and Bobby, you give these guys the double DQ. Just two colossal beings that cannot put each other down. And, they have to literally stop the match because they're tearing the building apart. Godzilla versus King Kong kind of booking. But instead, they let Braun Strowman get that big power slam. And now we put down this guy that we've been putting over for a while. They've been putting Omos over way before Braun Strowman ever got here. Braun comes back. Now Braun kills Omos. He goes down a peg. But it doesn't matter, because like Mark Henry said, he came to the business. How many years was he losing? And then many years later, World's Strongest Man goes on his World Championship run, and it was good. His theme song was good, his merch was good, and he was kicking people's ass. Speaking of Mark Henry, we saw a little vanilla chocolate tonight. Sexual vanilla chocolate in Otis. The guy's like, pretty much like exactly like Mark Henry. It's crazy. We'll get into that later, though. All right, also, Crown Jewel, we had Bray Wyatt. Does anybody want to chime in on Bray Wyatt and the Crown Jewel promo? I really wasn't excited at all by it. I enjoyed listening to him because it's Bray Wyatt, and I'm a big fan. Like, when I look at Bray Wyatt, I see myself in Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt and me are almost exactly identical as far as personalities go. He's out there, he's extreme, he's intense, he can get loud, he can get mad, and he's a big chunky guy. He's not like a, skinny little dude. I don't know if he's bigger than me or not. Probably is. He looks like he's gotten huge. Huge. So I have a bond with Bray Wyatt, unlike a lot of other wrestlers. I feel more connected to him. Just like Kevin Owens. I feel very connected to Kevin Owens. Because me and him are almost the same fucking age. So I feel like he is exactly what I would have done in the professional wrestling world. That loud, over-the-top asshole. That's what Kevin Owens is. A loud, over-the-top asshole, and we love him for it.
See, you know what my problem is? The build-up before he came back was so long.
With Bray?
Yeah, so that if he's finally back, all right, 1 promo, 2 promo, 3 promo. Let's see something. Let's see some movement in this storyline. These multiple personas, this and that. I know we're getting the back and forth with him and the character on the Titantron, but like I said, we've seen these vignettes for like months leading up to it, right? I feel like it has been.
It's been a while, yeah. White Rabbit chasing the QR codes, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm ready to see some more.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to just see something a little more physical. He doesn't even have to really have a match or hit anybody or anything, but just like another character appearance. Like when that first time he came and all those fuckers were all over the arena. Even if they did something like that again, maybe a little creepier this time.
Have a tag team celebrating a win. The lights go out, lights come back on. They're unconscious, and like you see him in the background.
He did get
anything.
I feel like he got the biggest pop of the night though when he came out. I mean, honestly, like people were happy to see him. And like as far as single loudest pop, they went kind of apeshit for him. They went crazy when he came up. Also, Usos were able to retain their title. I don't think we really need to get into that. We knew that was going to happen. This was just a match to fill time. Usos ain't losing. Brawling Brutes, and, you know, Sheamus wasn't in town. Sami Zayn wasn't in town. How about Bianca versus Bayley? Anybody want to mention that? I mean, I wanted Bayley to win. Didn't happen. Bianca stays strong. She's your women's champion, and it's not changing.
Oh, it will soon.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked in this match because it was actually good. I was ready to just take a crap on it, but it actually turned out to be a good match. I was surprised. I just didn't like the finish.
No,
like,
that's what bothered me was the finish.
I
when I first watched it the first time, I caught like the last 10 minutes of it, and I just thought the finish was a little weird. But at the same time, I don't think like you're tossing.
I liked it.
You liked it?
I did. It was different.
The finish with the ladder.
Yeah.
Keeping her stuck under the ladder.
Absolutely, it was great.
That ladder that's made out of like paper metal.
No, that's a real ladder, man.
Real ladder. Yo, yeah. I could punch a hole through that ladder. Like,
it's real to me, damn it.
That's true. It is real to you. I believe that. I believe you. Here's another shot. Roman Reigns picking up the win over Logan Paul in what was, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people are going to not like this comment at all, but I'm going to say this was arguably one of the best matches of the year as far as entertainment value goes. I'm not going to put it past Cody and Seth, because to me that was match of the year. The Hell in the Cell. I don't care what anybody says. That performance by Cody Rhodes. And by the way, we got a vignette of Cody Rhodes on Saturday, right? I'm pretty sure we saw a little package about my man Cody Rhodes and his royal family and the ties to all of it. And I love how they're just throwing it in there to remind you Cody's coming back. Don't forget about Cody Rhodes, because he's coming back, and this is what he did right before he left. You saw that? You remember that? This is him working out. This is him getting ready. This is him prepping, because Cody Rhodes is coming back for your title, Roman Reigns. Wow. Wow. I don't think we're getting Rock versus Roman. A lot of people think we're getting Rock versus Roman, and I would love to see it. I really would. I wouldn't mind it. You know why? I'm a big fan of Young Rock. What if the season finale of the Young Rock this year was The Rock and the Tribal Chief having a little run-in at the airport or something? And then next thing you know, the week after that show airs, Rock and Roman are now in the ring preparing their promo and their program for the WrestleMania. Would you like if it was done that way, Jay?
I've seen a little of Young Rock, so I'm not a huge fan, but I like what I saw from bits and pieces. I guess, I mean, I'm not going to say it would be perfect of what you just pictured, but it wouldn't be a bad idea either, right? I mean, I wouldn't mind something like that.
They were talking about how The Rock is going to come back and he's going to take the title of High Chief. High Chief Rocky Johnson. And he's going to come back as the reincarnation of his great-grandfather and beat the fucking holy shit out of Roman Reigns. That is the storyline. And it's a great storyline. Now, my question is to Gilch right now. Gilch, if this match does happen, though, do you think the title still needs to be on Roman Reigns? For this match? I mean, a lot of people are saying it doesn't. I think it needs to be on his shoulders, and he needs to pin The Rock with the title. To solidify, if you're going that route, you got to have him beat The Rock for the titles. Defend the titles against The Rock.
No, I don't think he's going to have the title going into that match. I really don't.
Okay, all right. In my opinion, I don't even think Rock Roman's happening. I think it's going to be Roman versus Cody Rhodes. This is the match that they are teasing already. The signs are there. We've seen no indication from The Rock.
Perfect world. Brody's number 30. He's healthy. He's ready to go, and you just go from there.
I don't know, but we got to see. I don't know how his progress is going, but we're going to find out.
Perfect world.
Here's a little screenshot that I happened to get on Friday night. You may know the man on the left on your screen. Former world champion. Possibly the most famous boxer of all time after Muhammad Ali. I really can't think of anybody more famous than this human being as far as boxers go that's alive. Pretty sure he's the most famous boxer in the world right now that's alive and breathing. And what a gentleman and what a scholar. I got lucky enough to get the opportunity to grab a moment of Mike Tyson's time.
Lucky.
Got a nice picture with him. And this was during Rampage, which was a great show. Shout out to all the Busted Open Nation that was out there representing with the Dave LaGreca heads. And, you know, Trent Beretta, by the way, do you watch Busted Open? No? Aubrey Edwards and me had a little interaction. Aubrey Edwards was doing, you know, some heavy-duty officiating.
Get out the way.
Yeah, she said, dude, get out the way.
Get out the way.
I got to make a sound mix of that. It was good stuff. But I was there with Gilch, Atlantic City. We had a good time. We did a lot of stuff. We had a good dinner right there. You see a nice screenshot of the dinner. That is actually a piece of bacon. That is not steak. I thought it was a steak, but no, that is just a luscious piece of bacon. It looks beautiful right there. There's our steak right there.
Fucking bacon,
and there's a picture of Jay Lethal. So you can see where me and Gilch were sitting for AEW. That's how we roll. We're ringside front row. We're not fucking around. Wrestling with Savage making a strong statement. And I made sure that everyone in Atlantic City knew two things. A, that Savage was there. And B, that I watched Busted Open. That was my mission. I made sure a lot of people heard Busted Open loud and clear. Dave LaGreca. There was some of the fans there. You see Dave LaGreca. He has a nice chair. He's front row. Dave LaGreca was ringside right here. Compliments of Savage. You were at the show, Dave. You were there. Here's also a picture of VSK. Shout out to VSK from Creative Pro. Having a nice match on Dark. So make sure you watch Dark. I think it airs tomorrow on YouTube. You can check out VSK. Trent Beretta had a match. I believe Moxley and Claudio and Wheeler Yuta had a match against the JAS. Which I missed out on my opportunity for that, Jay. I went for a little break and I missed that match. And where I was standing, right, I would have had the ultimate videos of Moxley, Claudio, and all those fuckers. I was right, Gilch, that's where they walked through. You were right there. I was watching you. The lady wouldn't let me come back down because I decided to go have a little smoke break. But, you know, it happens. It's okay. I still saw the match. Great match. Like I said, LaGreca heads in hand. Rampage was a good time. Some gambling to end the night. Actually, gambling didn't end the night. Burger King ended my night. Burger King and then a 2-hour drive home, sleeping, and definitely waking up late for Crown Jewel, unfortunately. We're going to have Dynamite coming up on Wednesday. Apparently, Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Bryan yet again. All right. Like I said, Sami Zayn should have been there for Crown Jewel. It just wasn't as oozy as it could have been. But it is what it is. We're going to get into Monday Night Raw immediately. As soon as we get back from this little break.
Are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, brought to you live by the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
Because they are the best tag team in the world today!
Woo! George, Wrestling with Savage. I think George just tried his resume for Tony Khan. I don't know for George. Huh?
With Savage!
But of course.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, brought to you live by the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
I'm trying to give these two W's. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wrestling with Savage. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. Coming to you live today. You see the crowd right there. Looked like it was a filled up arena. Looks like it was a good crowd. Wilkes Bar, Pennsylvania.
Good crowd.
Savage, real
Well,
quick.
I said it looks like it's a good crowd. I was going to just get into that. The crowd to me tonight felt a little dead.
Without going too far off, let's just throw a quick word in there about the crowd Friday night.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, there was nobody there.
Yeah.
we watch all the back and forth with like the AEW and WWE, like hardcore, the guys that will only follow one and trash the other, and they go back and forth about the crowds, but there wasn't a soul in the upper decks in that place. It was not. I mean, not a person. It was crazy. But go ahead, back to the crowd.
Well, I mean, there wasn't much to really fucking talk about the crowd on Friday night. It is what it is. It's a house show in Atlantic City. Most people that live in Atlantic City or near Atlantic City probably do not care about AEW or any professional wrestling because they're too busy working to gamble, to work again, so they can
waste
gamble
their
again.
lives.
And it is what it is. That is Atlantic City. But tonight,
miserable lives.
we're done talking about Atlantic City for tonight, man. We'll get back into Atlantic City again on Wednesday night for Dynamite. Hopefully there's something to talk about. Hopefully something that even remotely reminds me of Dynamite. Dynamite means hot, explosions. I don't think I've seen anything hot or explosive on Dynamite in a while, to be honest. I'm just being honest. Definitely haven't seen MJF. I was hoping to catch him on fucking Friday, but we didn't. But tonight, if you were watching Monday Night Raw, tonight we're going to start off Raw. Seth Rollins is going to issue an open challenge for his United States Championship, and Solo Sikoa is going to come out with the Usos. Friday night, the Usos have a match versus the New Day, and they're going to be taking on their title reign. Apparently, New Day are the current longest reigning tag team champions of all time for SmackDown, and the Usos plan on ending that party. And tonight, we had a little back and forth between the Usos and the New Day, and I gotta say, this segment ate a lot of time. I did not expect them to be in the ring talking for about 15 to 16 minutes. Actually, I think it was up to 18 minutes if you count what Riddle was saying. A lot happened in this segment, and there was some good lines from Xavier. There was some. Well, no, you want me to read them? I mean, there was a couple of them.
No, please don't. I had enough.
Okay. I mean, they did. In my opinion, all honesty, I felt like this just went a little too long. And Kofi looked extremely uncomfortable. I thought Jay and Jimmy and Xavier were, the only ones that kind of shined a little bit in this. And then, of course, Riddle comes out and tries to make everyone break, which I'm sick of that shit already. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of professional wrestling and these guys coming out, doing their thing, trying to go over so they can look like badasses who kick ass and sell merchandise and make fucking money. That's what they're here for. Not come out to make jokes about your bongs and you want to bang on my bongs. Oh, only one bong, only one tap and then pass. Tap, tap, pass. Like making all these non-stop weed references. And I don't know if I'm a fan of the weed references either, to be honest with you. Because for me personally, I don't mind it, whatever. But for like a little kid out there who's fucking 6 years old, 7 years old, does he really need to start asking people what's he talking about when he says bong and I don't know, but that's just me. I digress. Gilch, I'll go to you. Opening segment, were you even excited about this match to begin with? Because the match ended up being a banger, believe it or not. I actually really enjoyed the match. I thought it ended up turning out to be a banger. Riddle and Solo Sikoa absolutely fucking shined. But again, 18 minutes, far too long for all that just to lead into a 6-man tag match. What'd you think, Gilch?
I can't even give you a rating on the match because the fucking segment wore me out. I could care less by the time the segment was over. And is the New Day over anymore? Because the pops they used to get were insane every time, everywhere, and even the crowd is like, eh.
Well, you can see the pops aren't going to be there when you're getting squashed. The New Day how long has the New Day been getting squashed for? They haven't been beating anybody. They haven't been winning. They haven't been relevant since Big E left. Big E was that surge in the New Day. Without Big E in the New Day is not the New Day. It's just fucking not. You hear that voice at the beginning of the song, and that voice is no longer there.
Yeah.
End of story. I don't care. That's why they're not getting the reaction. Because Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston combined cannot bring to the table what Big E brings to the table in his energy and his passion and all that. It's irreplaceable right now for them.
Yep.
I gave the match, the segment I gave whatever, but the match I gave a thumbs up. I'm definitely entertained by the match. I thought Riddle and Solo looked like superstars. Great spots, great moves, great finish. Solo looking strong, super strong, rock bottom, right? Shit's a wrap. What'd you see, Jay?
Match was okay, you know. What it is, what it is. What can you expect with all these guys in the ring? I'm going to talk about more of the segment. I thought it was started off strong. I thought it started off good, especially for the New Day. I'm not a fan of them, but it started off really good. But then they kind of like just dragged it too much. Like you said, it took too much time. I didn't enjoy that. And I didn't enjoy the part when Jimmy decided to start playing with the bongs and Riddle came in. It just became nonsense after that.
Yeah.
Match was okay, though.
It was funny once when they did it the first time.
Yeah, but no, I felt like there was force feeding it, and the crowd wasn't even alive. This crowd sucked tonight, by the way. Sorry, it just did.
No, the crowd was dead tonight. I mean, you could hear it in most of the matches. I think the only person that really went over today was probably Seth Rollins. I think he was the only one who got love from everybody in the building. He's the one. I mean, at the end of the day, he was the biggest superstar we saw on TV tonight. End of story. Not even remotely close. No one's even close to his fucking level right now. That's why he was in so many segments tonight. We saw him at the beginning of the night, in the middle of the night, and then in the main event. Seth freaking Rollins, the new Mr. Monday Night. The match was okay. I had fun with it. It was actually better than okay. It really was a banger, actually. I was pleasantly surprised by how good this match was. You might want to go back and watch the match. You might want to fast forward through the opening segment. The match is definitely worth a watch. Riddle Solo absolutely killed it. And the Usos were good too. The only thing I didn't like is more our Randy stuff from Riddle. He's still doing the Randy stuff. Did the DDT, did the, RKO. Now we're going to get into JBL, makes his way to the ring. Says, I have sold out every arena in God's green earth. And when you talk about great arenas, this is not one of them. For the rest of your life, this will be one of the greatest moments of your life. Put your Philly World Series loser hands together for the man who is going to save this business, Baron Corbin. And then we're going to get a match between Baron Corbin and Cedric Alexander. And all I got to say about this match right here is, end of days for Cedric Alexander. This match is over. Cedric didn't get a chance to do much. Corbin came in, cleaned that ass up with a fucking end of days. Put Cedric down, picks up the 1-2-3. JBL holds up that hand strong. Still, I don't know where this is going. Baron Corbin is a WrestleMania player. If you don't know that yet, Baron Corbin gets matches at WrestleMania, and other superstars don't. So, who's Baron Corbin going to take on at WrestleMania this year? And it's obviously going to be related to JBL. So that's my question to you. I don't even care about the match. We don't have to talk about the match. Gilch, who do you book Baron Corbin with at WrestleMania?
I mean, you probably can't ask me that question because my answer is who's ever got the world fucking title. That's how much I think of Baron Corbin. But that's not as much as I think of Happy Corbin. And even though this is like the third time I think we've talked about this and we all kind of agree. All right, they're not calling him Happy Corbin. He's being called Corbin, but it's the same stupid fucking music. It's the same attire. It's the, it's such a fucking waste of JBL that it's really, really just annoying the hell out of me. It's a waste for him to be on a guy like Corbin when you have him in the wrong fucking gimmick. It's almost a waste to be on Corbin alone because we know what he could do on his own. So, I feel like there's a gazillion guys out there that could have really benefited from what JBL's doing here in this promo. Corbin's not one of them, and Happy Corbin is definitely not one of them.
What if this is all to turn him babyface, though? Because JBL attracts so much heat from everybody that they hate him. And eventually Baron just fucking flips out on JBL, pops him, knocks him out, goes off on his own, changes his music, turns into the lone wolf, and, he comes off this massive winning streak. Because at the end of the day, I don't like the music, I don't like the gear, but I do like the fact that he's picking up wins with the end of days. We are seeing the end of days on TV again, and people are not kicking out of it.
Yeah, it's funny because they probably talked about the character, and in the end, it probably came up should we revert him to the lone wolf? And they're like, well, how can we revert him to the lone wolf when he's being, he's coming out constantly with JBL? You know, but still, like we said, we would like to see some kind of character
fact,
change. So, like
absolutely.
you said, if he turns face, I'm okay with that. But still, like you said, give me a reboot. Okay.
How about you, Jay? What are you doing with JBL tonight and WrestleMania, Royal Rumble? What would you do for Corbin right now, different than what we're seeing?
Well, gotta get rid of the ridiculous music. I thought we needed JBL because this face of this crowd absolutely sucked tonight. I actually brought the crowd a little bit alive when he came out and shitted on Philadelphia and Phillies and all that. And, you know, the match, it is what it is. I hate that they buried Cedric Alexander. I think he's really talented.
Yes.
And, you know, former Cruiserweight champ, and they buried him tonight. And I think that was an unfair call, which we'll talk about later on about unfair calls. But this was one of them, and I hated it, man. To be honest with you, Baron Corbin got the win. I hate the ridiculous hat. Hate the ridiculous attire. It makes him look like his old character, like you guys saying. You just need a reboot. No more than Ghost could say.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now we're going to see a picture of Seth Rollins. He's making his way to the ring as we go to break. Seth Rollins then is going to come out. Judgment Day is going to come out. Finn says he has a bone to pick with Seth, that he cost him gold many years ago. Tonight he's going to cost Seth Rollins gold. Then the OC comes out. A lot of talent in the ring right now. Seth Rollins does the slick move, just fucking bounces. He's like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm out of here. AJ says it's far from over. Finn says the only thing that's over in this ring is the Judgment Day. That was okay. That was a good line. He says OC is old news. The three of you can go. And then all of a sudden AJ starts talking about how that's the problem. It's always the three of us versus the four of you. But we found someone to help take care of our Rhea problem. Mia Yim is back on WWE television. Brawl breaks out, and now we have an even matchup between the OC and the Judgment Day for future matches. 4-on-4. Intergender match, I guess. Jay, I'll go to you first. Mia Yim, did her comeback do anything for you tonight? And do you think it did anything for the WWE Universe?
Did it for me. Didn't do anything for the WWE Universe. Let's face it, the pop was very weak, but the crowd is weak, so I don't know who to blame, her or the crowd. It's very confusing. But I am a fan of Mia Yim. She just came off an impressive match at Bound for Glory against Mickie James. If you guys haven't seen it, please watch it back.
Shout out to Mickie James.
So I think this is a good pickup because, let's face it, the women's roster is really low. They don't really have anybody. They need somebody. Putting Mia Yim in the mix isn't so bad. So I kind of like the call. I've always been a fan.
Okay. That's totally fair. How about you, Gilchi? What did you think of all this shit? How good did Rhea Ripley look tonight, though?
Yeah, I was okay with it being Mia. But, I mean, this looked like some, amateur indie camera work on this fucking, this whole thing here. Like, me... Right, like Mia Yim pulls down the hood or whatever, and the camera's still at her back. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? It wasn't until the announce table said it, and they turned a little bit on the angle, right? It was shot terribly. So yeah, all right, I'm okay with it.
The camera work was definitely shoddy on that. I thought that's what made it look shit. The best part of that whole segment is when Seth Rollins left the ring, casually, just backed up, rolled out.
The best part is
she
she's being herself. Remember, she got buried in that group, which is Retribution. Which is what she's doing now.
She did get buried. How long ago was that? What's the gap between her last time in this company? A year?
Over a year.
8, 9, maybe 9, 10, maybe.
Well, if she's back in WWE, you got to think Keith Lee's not too far behind.
No, don't bring him back. Okay. Hey, where you at?
Stay where he's at. Swerve in our glory. Taking L's to the
There you go.
Man. We see poor Dom over here taking the Styles Clash. I did enjoy that. That was nice. He took it well, too, actually. Kept his hands.
He looked a little nervous at first, but then he caught on.
Wasn't
I guess
bad,
he
though.
learned to trust.
Wasn't bad. There's the shot right there of the new OC. So that's the question. New OC. I have a new member. Are they going to do anything with it? I don't know. Now we see Otis right here. He's prepping for his big match against Elias which is coming up later tonight. On Friday night SmackDown, you're going to have a World Cup tournament, which I believe is going to be the tournament they're going to use to determine who's going to take on Gunther, the ring general. I don't know. There's a picture of Gunther as well. Very scary looking dude. Here's Seth Rollins again getting interviewed in the back, saying that he is going to keep his promise to the people and defend that United States Championship tonight.
Oh.
And you better hope it's not you. Seth was the only reason to even tune in to Monday Night Raw tonight. Let's just be very clear about that. Seth Rollins is... And by the way, he's also celebrating 10 years in the WWE tonight. So happy 10 years, Seth Rollins. What a 10 years it's been. And if you really want to be honest about it, who's had a better 10 years in the company, Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns?
Ooh. Tough call.
They both have beaten Brock Lesnar at WrestleManias.
Tough call.
This reign, I hate to say it, I mean, Seth is like my like favorite wrestler. Seth's up there with like a select few, but I think this title run by Reigns, I think, kind of solidifies him as right.
Seth has done it all.
I have another. Actually, you know what? I have what you just said, Savage. I have another question. Let's go back to Let's go back to the Shield in general. 3 guys. You left one out.
Okay.
Right? Mox has had some fucking run over there, right?
Well, listen, if you're talking about professionally who's made more money, it's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has clearly made more money than Seth Rollins and Jon Moxley. At this point, probably combined, because Roman Reigns has main evented more WrestleManias than both of those guys combined. Moxley's never main evented WrestleMania, probably never will main event WrestleMania. Seth Rollins, at least, has main evented WrestleMania. Not only that, he has stolen the show at WrestleMania. He has created a shock moment that will go down in history as maybe the most powerful moment in wrestling history one day, when he cashed in on 2 wrestling gods. Your tribal chief, who's the longest reigning. Well, once upon a time, Seth Rollins put him in his place at WrestleMania. And, oh, wait, Brock Lesnar was also in that match. Seth Rollins came in and took care of business against 2 of the most dominant WWE superstars of all time. That's who Seth Rollins is. So, I mean, there's a lot of things you can compare. Roman Reigns has his 2-year run, but he also has an 8-year run of getting abused by Seth Rollins.
I watch that cash in like maybe once a month when I'm bored. Like I that was written so well. It was executed flawlessly. You thought for a second that he was going to cash in and lose. It was really good. It's one of my favorites.
For me, I got to judge everything in the 10 years. Yes, this 2-year reign by Roman Reigns is super impressive. It's the most impressive thing a superstar has done in the modern era. But if you add the whole body of work up from Seth Rollins, there was years that Seth Rollins was abusing Roman Reigns. Let's be real. Seth was the one who was the first main event player after Roman Reigns took the L at Mania, right? He didn't get the job done at Mania 31 because they didn't want to give him the ball yet. He wasn't ready yet. He wasn't ready to step up and be the tribal chief yet. But guess who was ready to step up and be the face that runs the place? The guy that put Cena down. The guy that put AJ Styles down. The guy that beat everybody. Seth Rollins beat everybody. He's beat Brock Lesnar multiple fucking times. I don't know. It's tough, man. I guess it comes down to bias. If you're a Roman guy, you're going to say Roman. If you're a Seth guy, you're going to say Seth. But to answer your question, Jon Moxley isn't even in the fucking conversation. That's my opinion. I'm not impressed by his run. You know why? I'll tell you why.
He's a top seller.
Top seller. Top seller. Every match is the exact same with that guy.
Everybody buys a match.
Why, every Roman match isn't the exact same?
Yeah, but at least the story's better. Moxley just fucking trying too hard. Roman right now isn't even trying. That's the sad part. Moxley's trying too hard, and Roman is just being himself. Moxley tries way too hard to be that, like, Stone Cold-like character. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
If Roman...
There's 2 different comparisons.
If Roman tries too hard, we might actually remember that he can't wrestle.
I think he's way better now than he was like 8 years ago. Like, that's why I said his last 2 years. To me, when you talk about the 10 years, the only the only part of the 10 years that you gotta count is the last 2 years. Before that, Roman was shit. He was shit when the Shield first came out. All he was the powerbomb guy. Seth Rollins led that whole fucking band. And just like HBK, Seth Rollins turned his back on the Shield and went off to join the corporation, Triple H and all that, and that led to a lot of championships and a lot of fucking good storylines that Seth was main eventing. Roman wasn't even near the main event at that time. The transition took a while. He had to get a lot of boos before he became what he is now. That's a tough question though, Gilch. Otis and Gable coming out. We're going to see a match between Otis and Elias. I feel like they don't take advantage of Elias enough, man. He's losing again tonight to Otis. Otis is going to hit him with the world's strongest slam. Elias has that beautiful guitar. Why not use that guitar to break Gable's fucking head open, take him out of the picture, and then pick up the big win against Otis? You've had Alpha Academy getting booked as losers for how long now? And now all of a sudden, they're just going to be beating a guy who just came back as his actual self? Not Ezekiel? I mean, Ezekiel had a better run than Elias is having right now. This shit is crazy. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, so overall, the bigger picture, not to sugarcoat it, I think it's just really bad, and I think Elias became a parody of himself and whoever decided to book him as Ezekiel. Because let's face it, Ezekiel's moveset is knee to the face, and that's what we saw tonight. Elias comes back. I love how this new background with the lights and all that. But let's face it, the crowd didn't pop for him. I didn't pop for him either. I think he just became a parody of himself, you know. I'm seeing Ezekiel out there. I'm not seeing Elias. I'm not seeing nothing new. It's just the same old to me, and it sucks, man. It really sucks because I was really hyped for Elias. You and I and Gilch were all hyped for the concert. It never took place. You know, I really think they're burying this guy. You know, I get it. He got... Look, let's take it. He took the L. He took the L tonight. Another guy that got buried tonight. I think they're just burying the guy, and it just sucks, man. It really does suck.
Yeah, no, that's a good word, burying. A lot of people, I felt, got kind of buried tonight in the process. We'll get a little into that later tonight, but that flying knee to Gable's head, by the way, was absolutely terrible. I don't know if you guys saw that he used his hand to,
Did it twice? He did like two.
Yeah, but the one to Gable was out of this world. I mean, the knee was nowhere near this guy's head.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like, just out of this fucking world. And Otis is going to pick up the world's strongest slam. I mean, listen, it looks real because Otis is huge. You know, but
it makes no sense.
It makes no sense to me because you just bring this guy back. He's a popular guy. People like him. People want to see him do well, and you're not giving it to us. So, I mean, I'm just concerned about Triple H. You got to think this is a Triple H move because Triple H never did anything with the Drifter, even though he had a lot of potential. In my opinion, Drifter should have been an NXT champion before he even came to WWE. Instead, Vince loved him. Vince is like me. He looks at people and says, that guy's got the look. That looks like a champion. He reminds me of Macho Man. Get him over here right now. Let's get him in a program. And you could see with Vince McMahon's direction, Elias got big matches. He got big pay-per-view spots. He had spots with Undertaker. He had spots with The Rock. You know what I mean? Like, Vince used him he held him in a high regard. Now, Triple H is here, and we can see where Triple H holds Elias. He holds him right under Otis and Gable. That's where. And it's just sad to fucking see. I don't mind Otis winning, but I do mind that it's against, Elias. Crazy. We get another interview in the back with Judgment Day, Byron Saxton over there. They're talking hella shit, saying they have 99 problems. They don't have 99 problems. Whatever.
That was horrible.
The best part of all this was the shot that we got between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair in that just little tease moment of this is the match you are all waiting for. Are we going to get this? Is this the WrestleMania match for Bianca Belair?
This is the only women's potential matchup in any fucking promotion right now that actually excites me, that I'm looking forward to watch the match.
It makes sense.
You're not excited about Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm?
Yeah, no. I like, I'm a fan of Hayter, but,
Yeah. No, you're right, 100%. 100%. That match will do nothing compared to what this match will do. This match right here will have physicality. And I think Rhea Ripley's the type of superstar where she's going to be the person to really elevate Bianca Belair to that next level. You know all those tiny little things that I complain about Bianca? How she calls too many spots. She's a little too obvious with some of her move sets. Too much showboating sometimes. I think Rhea Ripley and a good program with her and Bianca's going to look like a completely different wrestler when she's done working with Rhea Ripley. I promise you that. And I can't wait to see it. And it's going to take Bianca to lose to a Rhea Ripley to help her elevate her game to that next level. And that's what's going to happen. I think Rhea Ripley will rip the title off Bianca Belair because Judgment Day is obviously over right now. They're getting pushed. The whole storyline between Dom and Rhea Ripley is taking off. It gets major heat in every city it goes to. Finn Balor, slowly but surely, actually evolving on the microphone. And Damian Priest is a solid piece. He doesn't even need any work. He is legitimate, ready to go ass kicker right now. You could throw the United States title on him. You could have him take that title off Seth Rollins down the road. I don't know if that's where it's going, but maybe. I don't know. There's a lot going on Raw tonight. That was a great little teaser. Shout out to the military and WWE and all the hard work they do. Tribute to the troops every single year. You know, led by superstars like John Cena, Kurt Angle, Edge, Chris Benoit used to go there back in the day. Big Show used to go there back in the day. Mark, all of them. They all fucking went overseas, and they put on a hell of a show for the troops who always deserved it. And WWE will continue in that tradition. Now you see Bianca Belair. She's coming out with Asuka and Alexa Bliss. And they show us a little argument that they had in the parking lot. Bianca's going to come out, talk some shit. Does anybody even care right now? I mean, Damage Control then comes out, interrupts. They show footage from them arguing in the parking lot again. Asuka and Sky get into a Japanese verbal exchange, and this was good shit. This was the best spot of the night. Baka, 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 baka. She was screaming at her, and then I believe Sky called her a bitch, and then we're off to a brawl. Nikki Cross comes out, helps Damage Control, and Damage Control goes out looking a little stronger, having control of the situation. Gilch, how about you? How'd you feel about Nikki Cross's job tonight and just the whole segment in general?
It was okay. It was okay. I was glad that there was a little confusion last week. We didn't know if she was going to be a face, a heel, who was she actually attacking. We think she's a heel. Tonight kind of solidified that, and I'm glad because this is by far the best version of Nikki that they've tried to push to us. Is that whole, like her old like NXT kind of insanity.
Insanity. Yeah.
Yes, I'm good with it.
Okay. I like it. I like Nikki Cross. I've been a fan of Nikki Cross since she was Insanity. Great group with Eric Young and I forgot the other guy's name, but it was a great group on NXT and it had a lot of potential. I think they tried it on WWE and it never really panned out. And, then of course they tried that other terrible gimmick, Retribution, which, by the way, Bully Ray thinks they're bringing Retribution back. Today on Busted Open, Jay, Bully Ray said that he thinks Scripps is Mustafa Ali. And this is their way of slowly bringing back Retribution. Which,
oh boy,
it might set up a match between, what's that guy's name? Dijakovic?
Dominic Dijakovic.
Dijakovic, whatever. I'm never going to say his name right. I'm just going to call him the fucking Slayer. That guy might have a program with Mustafa Ali. Maybe Mustafa Ali shows up in NXT to say, "Oh, let's bring back Retribution," and maybe he kills Ali.
Don't do it. No? He's gonna bury him again. Don't do it.
Who gives a shit? Now we're gonna get another match. We're gonna have Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjamin, which I was super hyped to see Shelton Benjamin on Raw. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a banger." After the match I saw between Theory and Seth Rollins last week, I was thinking we were gonna get another banger right now. Instead, we got a fucking squash match, guys. Austin Theory just fucking putting Shelton Benjamin in his place. And by the way, Shelton Benjamin, 47 years old, looking like a 27-year-old out there. Shout out to you, sir. You are a specimen. Right up there with Brock Lesnar, man. Alpha male of the species. You and Brock. Right up there. You know this Shelton Benjamin, you can't fuck around with this guy. He can actually pin Brock Lesnar in real life. I don't know if he'd win the fight, but he'll get him on the mat a couple of times. Shelton Benjamin's the real deal, but he takes an L tonight against Austin Theory. Were you happy about this, Gilch? Did you enjoy seeing Austin Theory get elevated on Monday Night Raw?
You know what I'm doing? I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm going to wait for you to finish everything that happened with Theory before I give you my answer.
All right. How about you, Jay? You got anything to say? I mean, Theory, he was out for the next match against Shelton Benjamin.
I think both guys suited themselves really well. They both sold great for each other, and Shelton Benjamin looked great, man. Even though he got buried, he looked great.
He did. I mean, everything was good about this. Not just the match, the build-up to the match. They show us a video of earlier in the day of a confrontation, and the Gold Standard was looking to teach 25-year-old punk Austin Theory a little lesson about respect. So, he dominated the first minute by using his technical expertise to stay a step ahead of Theory, but Theory eventually tripped her into the middle of the turnbuckle to take control, but that doesn't mean that Benjamin went down without a fight. Theory was able to get the win by raking his opponent's eye before hitting the A-Town, so I will mention that. It's not like he lost clean. Theory cheated like a little bitch, not even cheated, just did a dirty move, because they're not just going to pin Shelton Benjamin clean. Something dirty, and then the pin. So, in that regard, I guess he still looked a little strong, but this is just a good reminder of how good Shelton Benjamin is and that he can work with anybody. And we should be using him more. But they're never giving him a real push, right? We haven't seen him have a real push in over a decade, longer than that, 15 years, I don't know. When was the last push he had? When he was the IC champ?
Yeah.
When was that? Jesus. It was a long time ago. I guarantee you nobody knows it. The kids in the audience weren't even alive when he was the champ. So, it is what it is. But like Jay said, they both look good. Shelton looked good. Theory gets the win. Now we're going to get into the Miz. Miz is going to come out. First, he's going to get on the mic. Going to give a promo claiming that Johnny Gargano lied last week during his big tell-all interview. He's furious, and he's basically threatened to sue. Johnny comes out and admitted that he did something deceitful, but it's not what the Miz thinks. He says the Hollywood producer that Miz thought he was having dinner with was actually a private investigator that he hired. And then Johnny, right, says he's going to blow the whistle, shows a nice video, proves it all. Miz standing in the ring looking absolutely embarrassed, and then this is going to lead into the match, which I actually enjoyed. I was like, all right, at least this is going to go into a match. That's great. We're going to get some kind of action, physicality between The Miz and Johnny Gargano, which has been building up for weeks. So there was interest. I was interested in this match, and surprisingly, this was actually a really fun match. Johnny and Miz. This shows you that Miz is a sports entertainer, and Johnny is a professional wrestler. Johnny was doing all kinds of moves, all kinds of roll-ups, flying all over the ring, trying to, really fuck with Miz. But in the end, The Miz showed Johnny just what The Miz is all about. And that's taking advantage of the situation, tricking the referee into thinking Dexter Lumis is under the ring, grabbing that wrench, and clocking Johnny and picking up the 1-2-3. I thought it was brilliant. Brilliant finish to make Miz look good and still keep Johnny strong. So, in that regards, I appreciated the match. What did you think, Jay? I'm giving it a thumbs up. Good program between Miz and Johnny so far.
I thought the match was okay. I didn't really think it was a match. I think it was just a bunch of kicks and stomping and chops and
Miz should never do the super kick again.
Right. The only thing I liked was when Gargano was like springboarding through the middle ropes and Miz caught him with that running knee. That looked good. That was my favorite part of the whole match. So it was okay. I just wanted to see a little more wrestling on Johnny's part. That's all. I felt like we didn't really see that.
Okay. Would you give it a thumbs up?
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay.
How about you, Gilch?
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I'd lean towards thumbs up. Since he came back, I'm waiting for that fucking 20-minute Gargano masterpiece. And I don't know if it's been his dancing partner that hasn't been up to speed, but we haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
There was one spot that scared me, and that's when Johnny did that leap off of the... he did like a springboard, some crazy shit, but he landed hard on his knees on the outside. Just like you could hear the thud. Miz was supposed to catch him a little better, but, he didn't I guess he didn't land all of it, and Johnny took a hard thud on those two knees, and that kind of made me pop a little bit. My favorite spot of the match is when Miz went for that initial DDT that he does after he kicks you in the knee, and then Johnny countered it, and then a second later, Miz counters it right into that DDT. I thought that was a great spot. Great work by the two. Considering this was their first match, not bad chemistry, and at least we had some build up here. There's some substance now, and then of course the match ends with Dexter Lumis coming out, hitting the Miz with a steel chair, and then we see Dexter Lumis run a 40-meter dash in probably like 3 seconds. Like, he was out. He was booking it. He was fucking out. Security was trying to catch him. Also, I want to make a note that Corey Graves did absolutely incredible commentary work tonight during this match. The connection that he has with the Miz, it almost reminds me of Bobby Heenan on the commentary with either Ric Flair fighting or Mr. Perfect fighting. And the way Bobby Heenan would always stick up for Ric Flair or stick up for Mr. Perfect, you know, because they're these devious characters. And Gorilla Monsoon was always the pursuer of justice and light and honor and all that. And Bobby Heenan was like that weasel. So Corey Graves right now, phenomenal work on commentary. You are elevating your game to another level. And the guy that's sitting next to you should really start paying attention, because there's a lot that he can learn from you. It's incredible how good you've gotten over the last 2 years, Corey Graves. Certain moments of the night, we know that you're just reading off the script, but then there's those moments where they give you I think they give him the freedom now to shoot a little bit, and he's fucking killing it. Corey Graves is the man. Best commentary in WWE right now, in my opinion. And it's not even close. It's not even close. He's better than Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett's great, don't get me wrong. But Corey Graves is operating on another level. By the way, Wade Barrett got called out by Bailey. Apparently Wade Barrett made a comment in regards to like his senses tingling when a certain woman came out on TV, and Bailey called him a disgusting pig. So there's already issues right now with the female locker room and Wade Barrett. So if those kind of complaints keep coming, I don't know how long. But again, Raw, did you see the logo for Raw 30?
Oh, how unique.
They're calling it Raw XXX.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How unique.
Should be interesting. I don't know. But Johnny Gargano, Miz, I guarantee you we're going to see a lot more of them in the future. They're not going to be slowing down anytime soon. Wouldn't surprise me if this pans out all the way to WrestleMania with Dexter Lumis getting involved, maybe Indy Hartwell getting involved. I feel like there's multiple storylines happening here off this one little match. Now we get another segment with Damage Control, Nikki Cross. They want Nikki to defeat Dana Brooke tonight. Apparently Nikki Cross has a match against Dana Brooke for the 24/7 championship, and that match is coming up next. And basically Nikki Cross beats the crap out of Dana Brooke, and we have a new 24/7 champion. Maybe this is going to turn into the Hardcore Championship, or maybe Gilch, why don't you tell us about that idea you had in the chat that I actually liked?
It came true.
I was hoping that shit. I'm not even saying it's so funny that when hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you.
You there? Oh, Gilch is having some technical difficulties, but while he's having technical difficulties, I'm going to talk about the Young Rock. Here's some screenshots from the Young Rock.
Please.
I like it. I like the Young Rock, man. He had an episode with Hulk Hogan. He had an episode with Macho Man is in there. There's a lot of cool shit in the Young Rock. You should definitely catch it. Here's the match. Yeah, I hear you. We've been hearing you. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right, go for it.
Go ahead.
I was hoping that crazy Nikki wins the 24/7 title, and in her craziness just doesn't give a shit what she does and decides to smash the title into a million pieces because, you know, she's just not mentally there, and that would have been the end of that belt.
Maybe. I wouldn't mind if they just morph it into the Hardcore Championship if we're going back to this whole XXX TV 14 era. Makes sense. You have Liv Morgan over there talking all this crazy shit about hardcore. She's jumping off ladders, jumping off this. Maybe we get some cross promotion between SmackDown and Raw. Nikki Cross versus Liv Morgan, maybe for the Hardcore Championship at WrestleMania. You don't like that match? Hardcore ladder match, WrestleMania. Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan. No, nobody.
Yeah, we'll pass on that.
All
the
right,
only
we're
idea
past
I
that.
have, the only idea I have is that this is the end of the 24/7, and this is the end of Dana Brooke.
Wow,
I think
yeah,
we're
I'll
gonna
give you
see
that.
some releases.
I'll give
I
you
think we're
that.
gonna see some releases coming soon. I really do. After tonight's show.
Oh, well, here we see a screenshot of Nikki Cross having that headlock on Dana Brooke, giving that sick, sadistic look to the camera, making love to the camera while she's basically dumping on Dana Brooke. And, you know, maybe you feel bad for Dana Brooke, but I don't. Nikki Cross is the new 24/7 champion. And by the way, if she's part of Damage Control, she just added another belt to that stable. Let's find out what happens. Seth Rollins now making his way back to the ring. But before that, there was another interview with OC. They were saying we need a Rhea solution. That's what we needed. And we needed the toughest woman in the building. We got Mia Yim, who says that she just gave us a sample of what she can do. And she says, let's see how tough Rhea Ripley is now that she's going against someone who can hit her back. I wasn't sold on the promo. I thought her promo was pretty weak. I didn't feel the intensity. It didn't feel real.
I wasn't sold, but she was smooth.
I just needed a little more intensity, man. Like, you just came back to Monday Night Raw, you should be fucking hyped. Like, you know, it should be, you know, when you see Theory, right? Am I wrong? Or does Theory not just ooze excitement? He is excited to be in every single shot that he is in. Whenever he is on camera, he is at 150% energy. Mia Yim looked like she was running at about 30% right there. Half a tank, quarter tank, I don't know. Wasn't running on full, I'll tell you that. Maybe she needs some Savage's secret sauce. Which I'm working on something. I'm working on an energy drink because they tell me in Nation's Corner that they want to have whatever I have every morning when I wake up. I hear that all the time. By the way, gentlemen, did you guys catch Busted Open today?
I did not, sir.
Well, it's your lucky day.
And Whitestone
Here you
Savage,
go.
what do you
Here
want to say
go.
about that main event
Let's
from Saturday?
Good morning, Busted Open Nation. Good morning, Dave, Tommy, Mark Henry. Crown Jewel this Saturday was incredible. Logan Paul, some people on this planet, they're born with it, and he has it. He is going to be a legend in this business if he chooses to. I want to know if he has the wrestling bug. I hope he comes back. I hope he gets well quick. I think the whole thing's a work like Bully said. But Logan Paul, best three-match wrestler we have ever seen, and it's not even close. It's not even close. And I just want to let everybody know, you are watching, listening to Busted Open, the best wrestling talk show in the world today. I love you guys, and I can't wait to hear more.
All right, Savage. Thanks, phone call.
Appreciate that, Savage.
He's excited about Logan Paul and what Logan Paul was able to do. And Bully, not much of an argument after the match that we saw, a main event match. I mean, your third match ever.
He goes on to say you can't really argue with Savage about that, and that's Logan Paul. That was my call on Busted Open today. I kept it short and sweet. There's an extended take that I did on the Busted Open Facebook page. If you guys aren't members of that, go to Facebook, search for Busted Open, and you'll find us. We are the only official group on there. Come say what you want to say about the show and wrestling in general. It's a very chill community with a lot of cool people. And we are running a contest right now where we're giving away Dave LaGreca heads. As you can see behind me, I have one there. I have one over here. Gilch has a few. And we're going to be giving them away to people that show love for Dave LaGreca. So all you have to do is take a video of you doing the LaGreca lean, and then you're going to post it on the group page. And that's it. Just tag Dave LaGreca, tag Busted Open. If you want, tag SiriusXM. You can tag Fight Nation. You can tag me, Wrestling with Savage. And you're automatically entered. That's all you got to do. And then December 6th, I'm going to take all the people that have submitted a video. I'm going to put them in a little app in my phone, and my phone is going to randomly select one of you to receive a free Dave LaGreca head. Free of charge. We're not going to charge you for shipping. The shipping's coming out of my pocket. All right, even if you live in Abu Dhabi, I'll fucking send it to you. So, someone's going to win that, and, just head on over to the page. But now let's get into the main event, which is Seth Rollins coming to the ring because he's going to be a man of his word, and we're going to have a match, but we don't know who it's going to be. Seth says that this marks his 10 years of Seth Rollins. The chants begin. They start serenading him. He was the only one to really get a great response from the crowd tonight in Pennsylvania. Mustafa Ali's going to answer the call, apparently, which a lot of people were calling out. But then he is attacked by Bobby Lashley, and then Bobby says 2 reasons I don't have any of my championships. One is Lesnar, and one is because of you, Seth freaking Rollins. I'm going to come down to that ring right now. Ali tries to fight back, but Bobby just squishes and makes quick work of Mustafa Ali. He says to Rollins he accepts the challenge, and we're going to get the match Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley, which I was pretty hyped for. I mean, Bobby looked very scary in this piece. They made him look like an absolute fucking monster. I don't know if they're making him a heel. He's definitely acting like a heel. This match with Brock Lesnar has apparently changed Bobby Lashley. Maybe the merch wasn't doing good, or maybe Bobby just wanted to change characters. I don't know, because I thought, like Jay used to say, all the time, Bobby's the most babyface guy they have right now, and it looks like babyface Bobby is gone, maybe, or maybe he's just pissed off. Are babyfaces allowed to be pissed off now, Gilch?
Sure.
Okay. How about you, Jay? What do you think? Should babyfaces be allowed to be that pissed off?
Look at Cena.
That's true. No, you make a great point. Yeah, no, he had his moments, but it would usually take a lot for Cena to get pissed off. But I guess, Bobby's been through enough, right? Seth screwed him out of the fucking title. Brock screwed him out of the title. Brock got the dirty win at, Crown Jewel. Bobby's not in a good mood. Bobby comes out tonight on Raw and just absolutely decimates Seth Rollins. Beats the holy fuck out of him, slamming him around the entire arena, slamming him into ring post. Seth Rollins tries to hit the pedigree, not going to happen. Bobby just launches him over. Officials come out telling him, what are you doing? You got to take this match in the ring. You got to take this match in the ring. It hasn't even started yet. Bobby just not listening to anybody. You can see he's just playing the really pissed off character. He's clearing the table out. He's going to put Seth Rollins through the table. And then Theory's going to come out, which I thought was interesting. At this point, Bobby Lashley is done with Seth Rollins. He's leaving the building. He's leaving. We see Theory come out one more time. Theory getting another spot. And he has his briefcase in hand, and he decides to cash in on a fucked up Seth Rollins, which, in theory, is a good idea, right? Kilch, right? In theory, it's a good idea. But tonight, that wouldn't work out too well for Mr. Theory, because Mr. Theory met Mr. Rollins. And Mr. Rollins is a guy who kicks out of pedigrees. He kicks out of 8-town downs. He kicks out of this. He kicks out of that. And then he hits you with a curb stomp and defends his title on national television. Fresh Theory coming down and losing to a Rollins who was just decimated by Bobby Lashley. How strong does that make Seth Rollins look? Jay, I'll go to you first. What'd you think about the whole main event segment? And you got Ali, you got Bobby, you got Seth, and you got Theory, all in one shot.
There's a lot on my mind. I'm gonna try to make it as fast as possible. I'm gonna say by far, this was the worst booking I ever seen in my entire life. They disrespected, to me personally, the Money in the Bank briefcase by him coming out to challenge Seth Rollins for the United States title. I think it's a joke. I'm sorry, Gilch. I think you have to return your briefcase just like everyone else that purchased it. I mean, I am disgraced by it. I think it sends a bad message. And, you bury someone which basically was given the belt. You guys been Theory fans for God knows how long. You guys been waiting for the day for it to finally happen. And guess what? He got buried. It's just Triple H all over it. I don't know why they buried. I hope this is not the finish. But if it is, it makes no sense for Seth Rollins to go over on someone as Theory with the money. It makes no sense whatsoever. This does not make sense. Especially Lashley, coming into this whole mix. Makes no sense either. Challenging, I mean, I get it, but it just didn't make sense. I don't know what happened here. I hope this is not the finish.
I mean, to me, it would have made more sense if Bobby comes out earlier in the night and just goes off on a rant on Brock Lesnar for like 10, 15 minutes.
I would have liked that.
Maybe he interferes in a couple of matches because he's pissed off and then he's escorted out of the building. But I guess that's not where they're going with this. Gilch, what did you see out of this? Where are they going with this?
I don't know. I loved it, honestly, because I sat here and I let you sell me on Theory. right? He's gonna cash in. He's gonna win it at WrestleMania.
I mean, I haven't said that in a while now.
And,
in a while.
And Jay's been sitting here saying he's not ready yet. He's not on the top stage yet in the ring. He's got the ability to get there, probably sooner than later. And that's how I believed beforehand. And I'm happy to see the belt, to see the briefcase out of his hand. We'll see where this goes.
I'm glad to see the briefcase out of the equation as well. And I will say this, in my defense, all these comments I made were during the Vince McMahon era. And during the Vince McMahon era, there was a rocket ship attached to this fucking kid's back. But now, that era is now the Triple H era, and that rocket ship has been dismantled and thrown away. I do believe Theory has all the tools and talent to be a top talent, and it's going to happen, like you said, sooner than later, but it's not going to be this year, and it's not going to be next year. There are a lot of people that are ahead of him in the line, and those people are Cody Rhodes, Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens,
I think there's
Sami
bigger plans
Zayn.
than that. I mean, for this to happen, there must be some bigger plans than all those guys you mentioned. Has to be.
Well,
for next year, of course.
For next year, but I mean, who can Theory go up against at Mania?
Gargano.
Maybe someone new.
Build
Maybe
up.
someone new from NXT. You never
Well, Gargano and Theory, they're part of that original faction from NXT with
Why-
Dexter
why
Loomis and
not,
Andy Hartwell.
Why not a Braun Breaker Austin Theory WrestleMania?
Maybe this
Breaker.
moment here is what sets Theory off to go hunt down Johnny and say, we need to get back together. We need to bring back the unit. Because, look, you're losing to The Miz. I'm losing to Seth Rollins. Your wife's getting beat up by Damage Control. There's a lot of different things going on, and there's reasons for them to all band together. Dexter's getting harassed by Miz. Miz won't pay him for doing all his dirty work. That's
Yeah,
selfish.
I just want to say on my part to
That
end my
son of a
part of
bitch.
this. Someone else got buried in my eyes Saturday, which I thought was match of the night, and that's Karrion Kross. I felt like he got buried too, taking the L. I think something's really, a storm's about to come. I just feel it, and tonight was just giving me all those signs, man. A lot of people got buried, especially Theory.
I'll tell you who didn't get buried. Bobby Lashley didn't get buried. At all. Bobby Lashley looks strong, but Seth Rollins also looks strong. All right, Monday Night Raw, you giving it a thumbs up tonight?
No.
Okay, and last week, what was the best show of the week for you last week? Was it Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown, or Rampage? Or Impact?
Impact.
Okay.
Impact.
Gilch? Raw thumbs up, and what was the best show from last week?
Yeah, I give Raw it leans more towards a thumbs up than a thumbs down. I'll say that.
Okay. I'm giving it a thumbs up because I thought overall there was a lot of cool different stories going off in different directions, and I like that for the most part. They gave a lot of the matches a lot of substance tonight. There was a lot of meaning in a lot of the matches. It wasn't just like a blank match for all of them. But how about last week? What was your favorite show? I'm giving it to Raw last week. The match between Theory and Seth Rollins, for me, was just over the top.
Yeah, I didn't watch Impact or NXT, so I'll go with Raw.
NXT for me was second, and then AEW, believe it or not. AEW last week felt very flat for me. No MJF. No, talk about lacking star power. MJF is your biggest star, and you're not putting him on TV, even in a video package. It's insane. Just like tonight. Tonight on Raw, the biggest
world
problem was
fucking title in 2 weeks.
lack of star power on Raw tonight. Same thing. The only star you had on the show was Seth fucking Rollins. He's the only one that got a pop from the whole fucking arena.
I don't see how between Wednesday show and Friday show MJF doesn't hit somebody, poke out, interrupt the segment, something.
The only thing I wanted to mention is I heard SmackDown. I gotta watch it. I didn't watch it yet, but I did hear that Gunther and Rey Mysterio put on a banger, and Gunther defended his IC championship. I'm gonna watch that match. Hopefully that's a one-off, right? Where do we want to see Gunther go?
Fighting Roman.
Are you taking the title off Gunther?
Oh no.
No, I think you got to let him hold that IC title till Mania, and maybe Braun can take it off of him. That's the way I would book it. I would shoot Braun straight to the IC championship and it's perfect because you can have Braun come out, cut a promo, yeah, I'm from NXT. I was the NXT champion. This, that, the other. And then Gunther comes out and says, oh, I was in NXT too. I was also an NXT champion. Welcome to SmackDown. And just starts beating the fuck out of him. And then you build a whole program from, let's say, like, you know, after the Rumble all the way up till Mania. And then Braun Breaker has his big WrestleMania moment defeating the Colossus, the big guy. That's how I book it, but not sure what everybody else would do. That's just me, though. Shout out to Logan Paul, though. What a fucking match. What a stud. Crown Jewel, if you didn't watch it, you should. Definitely entertaining. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to say there's a wrestling buzz been going on about Nick Aldis. What is his name?
Nick Gage?
Aldis, right?
Nick Aldis, yeah.
NWA.
NWA released him, I believe.
Well, no, he said he's not
Right,
going to
quit.
renew his contract on a video, and then they suspended him because of it and all that. This guy, you know, he really brought that company from the ground up for the last over 10 years of being the face. Longest reign, over 1,000 days as champ. I hope he comes to WWE, man. I think he always had that potential ever since he was with his tag team partner in TNA down there back.
Yeah, but
in
how
the
many
day.
guys can you put over in WWE right now? Isn't the best
He
time
don't need to
come
be champion, but I think he doesn't need to be champion. It would just be a good addition, I think.
All right, here's my question to you.
worker.
When you say Nick Aldis, the first guy I think of is LA Knight. That's the comparison I make.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. His promos are not really Nick Aldis.
Not his promos. I'm talking
really-
in ring ability.
I don't know. I think Aldis has a little more on
Really?
Knight.
How about you, Gilch?
In my opinion.
I think Aldis can sling it technically with anybody out there. I love LA Knight. He's one of my favorite guys out there. But if you want to put two guys in a wrestling ring, technically, and say, hey guys, just go fuck around. Like he would take them apart.
They put on that banger with Cody in 2018 pay-per-view. I mean, what more do you want? This guy's a great worker.
I want them to bring back Fandango and Tyler Breeze. That's what I want them to do.
But what?
He would probably.
Go ahead, Gil.
No, I was just gonna say, even though WWE is definitely the right place to go as far as like dysfunction and everything goes right now, but from a wrestling, from a business standpoint, he'd probably do more for AEW in the locker room and everything back there than he'd probably do for WWE. Not saying where he would do better, you know what I'm saying? Like with the mess that's over there, as a veteran guy.
I would right now with the way AEW's been going and what they're doing with a lot of their talent, I would be terrified if I was a superstar. Like if I was a nobody, I would take whatever opportunity came my way. But if I'm an established fucking superstar from NWA, Impact, Ring of Honor, I would be terrified to sign an AEW contract right now because you don't know what that means for you. They could sell you on one story and you sign that contract, and just like Dave Chappelle, you sign your contract, you sign your soul away, and now you have to do whatever Comedy Central or AEW tells you to do, and they own your name, they own your this, they own your that. If they want, they can pay you to sit at home. All of a sudden, you're not winning matches, you're not wrestling, you're not, and all that hard work you just did in NWA for the last 10 years to build a brand for yourself, and then they dump on it within a fucking, a year.
And the last thing I want to touch about is, you talked about the two giants and how Busted Open was talking about Omos and Braun Strowman throwing the banger right there. Braun Strowman has a lot of heat in the back.
Oh, with a comment, yeah, 47 stars.
Flippy flops and shit. And all I've been hearing since today is just that, he's just rubbed a lot of wrestlers the
Did you
wrong
hear
way
the
in the
tweet?
back.
Did you hear the tweet that Mustafa Ali responded to him? Mustafa Ali tweeted to him saying, "Can you teach me how to get fired?"
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then I don't know if that was a smart move on Ali's part, because that's like Mark Henry said today on Busted Open. Now that's a conversation that you're going to have in the locker room.
And there's one thing that I guess some writer from some website that I was reading about this on, he said that it's always funny that Braun Strowman is always at the top of his game, going for the bell, having these matches, But the only downfall is himself, because he always does stuff like this. And I agree, man. I mean,
to me, you just came back to WWE, so I don't know why you'd be on Twitter making stupid comments. I mean, who cares what the fans think? Who cares what the other wrestlers think? And I agree with what a lot of the guys on Busted Open said. Him making that comment. Yeah.
One more thing. They also said that he's also late coming into the show, and he leaves early.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that because he thinks he's a superstar. He thinks he's a superstar.
I'll let you go.
But no, the thing they said is that was selfish of Braun to make fun of guys that do flips and flops and all this other crazy shit, because that's just a different genre of wrestling. You have big man wrestling, you have little man wrestling, you have spot wrestling, you have methodical wrestling, grappling wrestling, high flyer wrestling, hardcore wrestling. There's all kinds of different types of wrestling. So to just shit on one particular part of it is not a good look, especially when you just came back to the company. Gilt, you have anything, final thoughts before we cut out of this? He's like, no. He's like, I'm good.
He's done.
What do we got? What do we got coming up? We got
NXT tomorrow night, and then Wednesday we'll be back here for AEW, us three. Thomas Babiak might be in the house, but he might be MIA because he's having a little trip right now. Shout out to Barbells and Body Slams. Make sure you go over, follow them. Follow The Nation's Corner, and of course, follow Wrestling with Savage. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. You can also hit us up on wrestlingwithsavage.com. You can email in your questions for the show, or you can join in on the chat anytime on our Discord channel. Make sure you're watching and make sure you subscribe to not miss a show. We go live Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and we try to bring you as much wrestling as we can that, makes sense. Anyway, this is Wrestling with Savage. We're out of here. Everybody have a good night. Thanks, Gilch. Thanks, Jay. We'll see you tomorrow night. Me and Jay, as usual, the pillars of NXT. Listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, brought to you live by the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
Because they are the best tag team in the world today. Woo!
George, Wrestling with Savage. I think George just tried his resume for Tony Khan. I don't know. Up for George, huh?
We're Savage!
But of course.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, brought to you live by the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
I'm trying to give these two W.